It is 6 minutes now past the hour of 9 o'clock. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Later This Morning in Rome, affectionately known as Disorganized Chaos. This is the Wednesday edition. Ben Poplin is in the studio this morning, and last week, Ben, you gave me a phone call about a young man that you had met who is putting together an event that's coming up here real soon, and it was most impressive to hear about. Why don't you tell me again what you told me, because I have a short-term memory.
Well, the way it came about, Taylor Jordan, the founder of an organization called Alternative Baseball Organization, ABO for short, he founded an organization to benefit those who would like to play the game of baseball but have special needs, autism specifically. And what he put together after reaching out to me via LinkedIn to do the public address duties is he put together a benefit all-star game next weekend at Mount Perrin North, which is around an hour, 15 minutes or so from here. And the all-star game will feature those with special needs, those with autism, and it will also feature current or past professional baseball players, which is going to be a huge draw. You're going to split the teams up, probably 12 to 15 between both teams, and they're going to play 9 innings. We actually have a big draw. Timothy Miller, the Timothy Miller, Tenor Lion himself, is going to be singing the national anthem and God Bless America. Everyone knows him if you're a Braves fan, and we're very excited. Taylor, he's going to take it away here in just a minute, but he reached out to me via LinkedIn and Alternative Baseball Organization. I have a history of working with those with special needs in college. I had the chance to work with an organization called Beat Baseball, which is a baseball game designed strictly for the blind.
Really?
And it was a giant softball, a little bit bigger. There was a beeping device embedded inside of it, and to watch them play, it was remarkable. They're absolute athletes.
I would imagine so.
But it's a great organization, a great cause, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
Taylor, how are you, my friend?
Very good. Thank you for inviting me this morning.
Yeah, glad to have you here. How did all this come about?
Well, let's go ahead and start from the first, wherever. I've lived nearly all my life in the metro Atlanta area. I was diagnosed with autism at the age of 4. When I was much younger, I wasn't able to play sports due to developmental delays. But thanks to support from my parents, teachers, and peers, and the great Lord above himself, I became ready to play Little League Baseball at the age of 12. My season started out, as many will probably think, terrible, just like Jason Hayward has been in the World Series.
That's true. That's very true.
But you know what? I came in willing to learn all that I can, and I wanted to enjoy the experience as much as possible. The next year, a new coach took over and deemed me too much of an injury risk to play. I kept working on it on and off through the years, and then I started playing slow pitch in around 2012. The coach there stated I was too much of an injury risk. He didn't really understand that autism affects differently from individual to individual. So I decided, hey, if that's how they were going to treat me, then I would coach my own team. And you know what was next? Every way I could think of, I recruited players for this new team. Made many Craigslist postings, Facebook alerts, flyers all around town. It was tough, but I did it. I went through many ups, downs, and disappointments. But out of 7 other teams in the league that year, we made it all the way to the championship game in the league. Ever since then, I've gone all over the Southeast to meet high-ranked players to learn from them and improve. Some of those guys have become my mentors, and I'm gladly appreciative of that fact. They've been great. The problem was this, though. In different leagues I played in, I still faced a lot of bullying and preconceived ideas about autism and special needs. People honestly didn't have a clue what it was, and honestly, they didn't want to know. As a result, I had a hard time fitting in, being accepted for who I was. So I told myself then, hey, there needs to be a social environment where others on the spectrum and with special needs can thrive and improve with encouragement and acceptance. That's pretty much what the basis was that got me to start Alternative Baseball Organization.
And this kid's 20 years old.
20 years old. That's amazing.
20 years old.
Absolutely amazing.
Phenomenal.
Thank you.
So the game itself is going to be played when?
November the 12th at 2 p.m.
So next weekend.
Next Saturday, yep.
Yeah.
That's correct, sir.
And it's going to be at Mount Perrin North.
Yes, not the school. There used to be a school there many years ago, but they since built another campus. I'll tell you something. When they reach the church, the ball field is not directly at the road where the church is at. They're going to have to go through the church parking lot and get through to the back of the property, because that's where the field is at.
Mm-hmm.
And for those who would want to attend, it's free, right? You can just walk right in and watch.
It's free with a donation.
Bring your own chair as well.
Okay.
Yes.
And so you put together a bunch of guys that have agreed to play in this alternative baseball event.
Correct.
Do you want to talk about some of the guys that have agreed to participate?
Why, yes. We have a former Major League Cardinal and Brave, Brian D. Barton, who plans on showing up. We have a third-round Yankees draft pick, Tim Battle. We even have, to some of you that live out in Rome, you might remember this name because he was drafted by the Boston Red Sox back in 2008. He recently brought home a championship from the Ottawa champions, Tyler Wilson.
Yeah, Tyler went to our merchant.
No kidding. I did not know. I played baseball with him growing up.
Really?
Yeah.
And
He's
you know,
my age. Yeah, we played him at Armurchie. That's awesome.
I've
You know,
heard,
an
I've
interesting-
heard he's a tall guy.
He's huge.
He is.
Yeah.
Tyler is a real nice young guy.
Oh, yes.
And when he went into the minor leagues, he had a heart issue.
He did.
Wow.
And I would run into him occasionally, and he's just a wonderful young guy. And the fact that he's going to play in it, is he going to pitch?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
That's the plan. We have.
Did you pitch against him?
In a matter of speaking, yeah, because I was mainly a pitcher, but I was pretty much awful. He could also hit,
Mm-hmm.
but the thing with him with the Red Sox is he had the heart condition, and he also had, I believe it was rotator cuff, and the Red
Yeah.
Sox just gave up on him, essentially. But he found a home in Canada. He's played there the past couple of years, and as you mentioned, fittingly named the Ottawa champions, won the championship.
That's great. That is
Yes.
so great.
Quite a good little comeback story there. And we also have what's called the 38-year-old rookie who just played his first or second year in the Empire League up in the Northeast around New York, New Hampshire, somewhere up there.
Mm-hmm.
And he was an all-star this year in their inaugural season this year. And then we have the former player who used to play here in Rome. He used to play in the Brave system after he was picked from the independent leagues earlier in this decade. It might have been the last couple years of the last decade. But catcher Craig Maddox, who was a 2016 Atlantic League All-Star, will also be there as well.
Mm-hmm.
And he played for the Rome Braves around 2009, 2010-ish. And he won the home run derby up there against many former major league players. He played probably played as recently as probably last year, some of them.
Wow.
Some of them he played in Japan and that stuff as well.
Mm-hmm. So you've got a pretty good cast of folks that are going to be participating in that event.
Absolutely, and I got one more thing to say as well. The person who will be throwing out the first pitch, quite fittingly, since the Cubs are in the World Series this year, but he's a former World Series winner. He won the 1957 World Series with the Milwaukee Braves, Taylor T-Bone Phillips.
Mm-hmm.
He played with Henry Aaron, Eddie Matthews, Warren Spahn, played against guys like Jackie Robinson, Mickey Mantle, Yogi Berra. You know, he's one of the last guys living from the golden era, and that makes it special.
Oh, I know it does. And I'm of an age where I remember a lot of those guys when I was a small child. But that's great to have somebody from the championship Milwaukee Braves that's going to throw out the ball. That is awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. This is going to be so much fun. And like you say, the ticket prices are free. Just give a donation.
Correct.
Which that works out a lot better sometimes.
How can folks donate if they are not able to attend?
Well, they can donate via PayPal at alternativebaseball@gmail.com.
Okay.
Or I think the link to our GoFundMe is gofundme.com/specialbaseball. I think that's what it is. That's what it was last time I looked.
Mm-hmm.
But if not, they can easily search it up.
There's a website as well, and you have a Facebook page for the
Correct.
organization.
AlternativeBaseball.org is our website, and our Facebook is at Alternative Baseball. They started using @ signs for Facebook pages. I don't know why.
It's odd. I don't understand that either. Also, happy belated birthday, Randy. I'm
well,
sorry.
thank you.
Yes,
thank
happy
you.
belated birthday, sir.
Yeah, I'm glad that I survived it. Would you speak to us on the radio? You're Tyler's mother. Would you? Hey, look, I want.
It's a really laid back
I
show.
won't
It's
stick
just
you
a
in the heart.
conversation.
I won't
No need to
stick
be
you in the
nervous.
heart
Stage
with a
is yours.
dagger or anything.
Sure.
How are you this morning?
I'm doing great, thank you.
You sit here and you're listening to your son about the things that he's had to go through in the bullying process because people didn't realize the issues that you as a family had to face. It was not just him, it was all of you.
That's right.
And to see that this apparently has motivated him more so than gotten him down, that's got to make you so proud as a mother.
It does.
Yeah. Did you talk louder?
He's pretty incredible, I think, but I am his mother.
Now,
He's gone through a lot to get here.
autism affects people in different ways, I understand, and I have to admit, I don't know a whole lot about it, but I think a lot of people are in the same boat that I'm in. How did you realize that Taylor was autistic, and what were some of the telltale signs, if you don't mind talking
Well,
about
autism is a neurological disability,
Mhm.
and usually there comes with that a delay in speech, social issues, some fine motor issues, and as he was just a young child, he had a lot of sensory issues. It was hard for us to go out to eat. It was hard for us to go out in public. The lights were too bright. There was too much noise. There were too many smells. There were so many things that he just could not adjust to very well. So we spent a lot of time in the earlier years at home. I was a teacher, and I had taught kids with autism in my regular classroom. I didn't know a whole lot about it myself, but I knew that he really didn't fit the mold of what I had seen other autistic kids do. By the age of 3, he was already installing his own computer programs. He already knew the alphabet and all those preschool skills.
At 3?
Yeah, at 3. So I knew that there was something going on, but I wasn't quite sure what it was, and we decided to have him diagnosed or taken to the Marcus Center. And that was where I knew there were sensory issues. I just didn't realize it was autism because at that time I didn't understand there's such a wide spectrum. You've got kids that are on the lower spectrum of the end, kids are on the higher spectrum of the end, and even though they have common characteristics as far as what their delays are, they're each different. And Taylor has just always had a drive of his own. When told no, he couldn't do that, or when someone looked at him and said, well, you have autism, you'll never be able to do that, he said, I'll show you. And he just has this inner ability and drive with himself. He's his own worst critic. And he's always been a fighter, and he said, I will do it.
It's interesting because I did meet a young boy one time, and I want to say he was maybe 9 or 10 years old. He was an African American boy, and he was in a special needs class. And when he was here, his teacher was telling me how unique and how acutely intelligent this young boy was. She could present a math problem to this young boy. And again, I don't remember exactly how old he was, but he must have been in 7th or 8th grade is what my guess would be. This has been many years ago. And she would present him with a math problem, and he would solve it instantaneously. It was absolutely the most amazing thing that I've ever seen. And another one of our students, same age, could recite the Declaration of Independence. But yet there were some other issues that these children had that presented some other problems, quite honestly. But is that unique to autism, that these children have certain things like Taylor does, where he's building his own computer at 3? I mean, I can't even turn the doggone thing on. You know, when they say reboot, I want to kick somebody. But
there are many children and adults with autism that are especially gifted in different areas. some are really great musicians. There are some like Taylor that are really gifted when it comes to computers. I mean, he's like a computer whiz. We've always called him the computer whiz. But that's what makes them unique, and that's what this basis for this baseball program is really all about, is that we want to take each person where they're at with their particular set of skills, and we want to build a program to where they're successful and they can do the same things that their typical peers do, even as adults. They all have that desire to be just like everyone else, to be treated with respect, and that's what Taylor has tried to build this program around, is that even though what some people deem as a disability, he's turning those disabilities into abilities. And for him, he's always said that, you know, it's not so much a disability for him as a disadvantage. And they can be worked through, they can achieve the same things that anyone can achieve most of the time, or a lot of the time. It's just they have to be given a chance, and they have to have somebody that believes them.
You know, Taylor, you are a very unique young man. Number one, how in the world did you get all of these baseball players to agree to participate in this event? Now, I mean, that had to be an interesting thing for you to do, and logistically, I would think it would be almost impossible to do.
Oh my. Well, I just, you know, it's kind of hard to explain. It's one of those things where I look on TV and say, hey, what if we did something like this ourselves to raise awareness? You see the first autistic professional baseball player play in the Empire League with a 38-year-old rookie this past season. What if we literally had teams mixed and matched to raise awareness and acceptance? How I recruited him was, I was like, listen, I don't want to take this thing where I would say something like, I could never do this, because with hard work at it, and you can really get anything done you want to get done in life. And
I've got to ask you a question about your mom.
What's up?
With your mom being a teacher, was she always encouraging you?
Yeah.
That you can do anything you want to do if you set your mind to it?
I think so. Yes.
You know.
Yes.
You know, that's so important.
The look of admiration that just crossed between the two, that'll make you melt.
Yeah. You know, I'm glad I got your mom to talk on the radio, because so many of us, our parents are maybe a little discouraging. They don't mean to be,
right,
but they sometimes can be a little discouraging. I can remember my dad one time, because I was enamored with broadcasting. This is the only thing I ever wanted to do. And he would say things like, Randy, why don't you quit playing and get you a real job? Why don't you get you a real job? Go to work at the paper mill. You know, I mean, I'm not demeaning the paper mill. I think the paper mill's great, but it wasn't for me. And the same thing, the status quo was not for Taylor.
No, certainly not. If you just live within others' perceptions, you're not going to get anything done in your life.
Well, it just goes to prove that perception is not reality.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Hardly.
Yeah. I'm proud of you, Taylor. I mean,
Thank
I'm
you, sir.
really, really proud of you, because so many people would just say, I can't do this.
Well, you can if you
And
really
you can
put
do
hard
it.
work into
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
To me, autism is not what I call a disability. It's only a disadvantage. Like, here's what I notice. We may have some sort of deficiency, but the brain doesn't leave a hole or a void. There's some kind of super ability that always comes in and seems to fill that void. And so the main focus of this program is to help them with their strongest points, so that they can be able to do the same things typical folks can, but in their own style. No one style is right. You have to teach in different ways based on the person and based on their set of skills.
Yeah. Why baseball?
Because it's America's pastime. It's one of the most watched and most celebrated sports in the country and practically world history.
When did you realize that Taylor was a baseball fan?
What was What were you asking?
How old were you when you realized that you, Taylor, was a baseball fan? Your mama could probably answer that
Probably
a lot easier than you could. As a matter of fact, why don't you slide that microphone over? Do you remember when he had a propensity to?
I remember.
Oh, do you?
Yes, absolutely. I have such a great long-term memory. But I would say around the age of 4 or 5-ish.
Yeah.
There was like how I found out about Major League Baseball was through a computer game called Backyard Baseball 2001, where they had these little they had these little characters play with professional players as kids. You would have your Randy Johnson, you would have Chipper Jones, and if you went to Tech, you guys would remember Nomar Garcia Parra.
Absolutely. I saw him play at Tech.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Guys like that. And for all you out west watching, you probably remember Jose Canseco.
Oh, yeah.
You told me he's still playing.
Yes, he's still playing for a small independent team called the Pittsburgh Diamonds out in the Pacific Association.
Wow.
Not to jump ship, but
you know,
on your topic.
And he has a twin brother also. I don't know if Ozzie Canseco still plays professional baseball.
They not only play independent ball, but they also play competitive slow pitch tournaments. They play senior baseball. Sometimes they play on the same team. But I think the last time Ozzie truly played professional baseball, correct me if I'm wrong, was maybe a few years ago for Yuma Scorpions when they still had a league over there.
We wouldn't know if you were wrong even if you told us.
Well, listen, Taylor, I got to tell you. I'm going to tell you an Ozzie Canseco story.
Oh, boy.
When Ozzie was playing in the minor leagues, he was playing with the Huntsville Stars, which at that particular time was an affiliate of the Oakland Athletics. And which that team doesn't exist anymore. They moved out to Biloxi, Mississippi. But back in that day, Ozzie was quite a hitter like Jose was.
Yeah.
And they were playing the Chattanooga Lookouts at Old Ingle Stadium in Chattanooga. And they had a deep left field. It was like 450 feet down in the left field, in the power alley in left field. Well, Ozzie Canseco hit a home run over a 4-lane highway, and the ball landed on top of a filling station. He hit it that far. I mean, those Canseco guys could really hit a baseball.
Yeah, I've seen some on video with the umpires who supply the umpires for our games. He's also called one of his games before too, and he thought that if it was a home run, he was hitting one down the third base foul line, probably went a good 500 something feet out of the ballpark. Jose Canseco, even in his 50s.
Wow, that's amazing.
But then, sadly, it turned foul, and the whole audience groaned, "Oh!"
What's your favorite baseball team now? Do you have one?
I would have to say, okay, friends in Japan, I'm fixing to say this, Hanshin Tigers.
Okay, who plays for the Hanshin Tigers?
Hanshin Tigers ga suki desu. You have Randy Messenger, who used to play for the Florida Marlins.
Yeah.
You have Jason Stanridge used to pitch for them a long time ago. And to my knowledge, back in the late 80s, early 90s, Ozzie Canseco actually used to play for them.
Yeah.
And, well, I'll be honest, my friend in Japan told me that that the pitching kind of upgraded at that point. But
Yeah. Let's see, Julio Franco, is he still playing in Japan?
He is a player manager. He plays part-time.
But he's in the Japanese league.
Yes. Well, there are 3 Japanese leagues. Well, actually 4, including Nippon Professional Baseball's Nigon, which is like their minor league system. But he plays in Shikoku Island Plus, I think it's called, which is like an equivalent of an independent league here in the United States.
I got to tell you, when he was playing with the Braves, he did a rehab assignment in Rome. And I was standing down by the field, and I had a microphone, and I was doing a little interview with him. And he's a great guy. He was in fabulous shape. And the following question came out of my mouth. I said, "Hey, did you bring your grandson with you today?" And he said, "No, but I probably should have." I mean, it's just sort of like that. I mean, because let's face it, he's not young. How old is he? Do you know?
Who was that you were talking about?
Julio
Julio
Franco.
Oh, around probably in his mid-50s.
Yeah, probably so. So, do you have an American team that you like?
So many American teams have supported our program, I can't be biased.
Okay, all right.
But I like the different styles of play from different region to region all over the world.
So you look at baseball a lot more sophisticated than Ben Poplin does.
Yes, he's
Am I wrong about that, Ben?
No, he's a baseball savant. I mean,
Oh.
this guy. We had a conversation a couple of months ago, and he just rounded off all these facts about Japanese baseball and all this. I don't even know how to watch Japanese baseball. He watches it year round.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's remarkable.
One of my friends, and I consider him a friend even though he's a whole lot younger than I am, who played in Rome many, many years ago, played in the Japanese league. His name is Anthony LaRue, who was a pitcher.
I've heard of him. He's actually on my list of LinkedIn contacts.
Yeah, I don't know if he still plays or not, but I know he played for quite some time in the Japanese league.
Last time I checked, he was playing in the Atlantic League.
Really?
And you said that Kyle Davies, is he still playing as well?
He's still pitching in Japan.
Is he really?
He was on the original Rome Braves team.
Yeah, he was. As a matter of fact, he was the winning pitcher in the 2003 championship game in the South Atlantic League. And you know who he pitched against in that game?
I do not.
Fausto Carmona.
Oh, the artist formerly known as Fausto Carmona.
Yeah, that's right, Fausto Carmona. But now let's see. There have been quite a few others that have come through here that have played in the Japanese league. But I didn't know Kyle was still playing. You know, Kyle was from McDonough, Georgia, down in Henry County, and he was quite a player. Played for a while with the Kansas City Royals. This event is coming up next weekend.
Correct.
And we would love to have a crowd of people from Rome to come down here and support you. And to come over and see Mr. Wilson. I didn't know that he was still pitching.
You and me both. Well, I knew he was still pitching. I didn't know he was going to be a part of this event.
Yeah.
That excites me.
Yeah.
That's great.
And we're trying to raise the funds through this to be able to get to our 501c3 nonprofit status, because we want to provide assistance to other communities that have asked about how they can implement programs in their communities like ours.
I got to ask you, when you were playing baseball, what position did you play?
Oh, he still plays.
Oh, he does.
He's not only putting this event together, he's playing in it.
Oh, what position do you play?
Second.
Second base?
Sometimes I play first, sometimes I'm in the outfield. Sometimes I'm pitching when there's nobody else, but I'm not very good at it.
Yeah. You're playing second base? That's a tough position to play.
Yeah. Well, my uncle played a lot of Army softball, so he taught me that, how to play second quite a while ago, actually. So.
Yeah. Taylor, I got to tell you a little story. Back when I was playing slow pitch softball, one of our players didn't show up. Now, I'm left-handed.
Oh, boy.
And I was a catcher. I was a catcher on our softball team because we had a guy that was 6'6" who played first base. So obviously he's going to play there because he can stretch a lot further than I could because I'm just under 6 feet.
Yeah.
So I was catcher. Well, on this given day, they figured anybody could catch, but our third baseman couldn't be there that day. And they said, Randy, you got a pretty good glove. Why don't you play third base? I said, I'm left-handed. A left-hander can't play third base. Oh, yeah, you can. It won't be a problem. After one inning, the manager came over to me and he says, go back behind the plate. You can't play there. I mean, you can't. You're terrible. And so, I went back to my familiar position because
as a left-handed catcher.
Yeah, as a left-handed catcher. Yeah. Anyway, I applaud you for what you're doing and what you're doing to focus in on not only autism but other disabilities that people have.
That's right.
Because if they want and have the desire to play baseball, they should. I don't know if you've ever seen our Miracle Field in Rome or not. Have you seen it?
I've heard of it, yes.
It's awesome.
It is.
It's awesome.
It really
Absolutely awesome. And to see those young people that go over there and participate when ordinarily they would never, ever get to participate in anything sports related. The name of the field is exactly what it should be. It's miraculous. It's Miracle Field. And sometime when you're in Rome, you need to go see it. And that might be a further project for you to build your own Miracle Field in your neighborhood.
We tend to focus more on practices in our program than actual games. But when we do have games, we have a great umpire association who supplies umpires. We go by Major League Baseball amended rules so that the guys playing can learn through experience and be able to improve. If some of them go that day and they're not playing the best, who cares? They're there to learn because you learn from failure.
And they're there to have fun.
Exactly.
Baseball should be fun.
Exactly. It's America's pastime.
I know you've got to get back to Dallas by 11, and so I'm not going to keep you any longer. But I want to thank you. I want to thank you and your mom for coming this morning and being on the show. I absolutely had no expectations this morning at all about you or the program or the direction it was going. But Taylor, you're amazing. You are absolutely amazing. And I'll tell you, like I tell a lot of folks when they come and they're in a tough situation from time to time and they're on this program, my friend, don't you ever let anybody steal your joy. Never. You're better than that.
Thank you.
I thank you for being here.
And I'd like to make a couple of shout outs. I know he's listening into the show right now from South San Francisco. Hey, Juan of Baseball Without Borders and Ken of Atlanta Amateur International Umpires, we thank you for supporting our program through your donations and your sponsorships. Thank you very much for supporting us.
Now, the game is going to be next Saturday, not this coming Saturday, but the next Saturday at Mount Perrin North, which is that right off of I-75?
That
you might know better than I would.
It's near I-75.
Yeah.
That I know.
Is it near the Mount Perrin Church?
It is on the church
campus.
The
church campus. You can't miss it then. It's on the right going south on I-75. Yeah.
And as far as the details of the game, November 12th, what time will the game start?
The first pitch will be at 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock. So you can get up and have your breakfast and mill around and then go down there and watch the game.
And if you'd like any more event information, just alternativebaseball.org.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if it were to rain out, we're planning on the 19th.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good.
So we're trying to make every alternative plan forward in case something does happen so that we can continue this and nothing stops us.
Yeah. Well, just keep plugging. Keep plugging.
Thank you, sir.
We got to take a commercial break, and when we come back, Ben is going to stick around, and we're going to talk about Cubs win. We'll talk about that in the World Series and a few other things when we continue. Taylor, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
And Mom, thank you for being here as well.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take a break, and we'll be right back. You're listening to Late